ALGO has been seeing a lot of gains lately as the prices have finally pushed over the $1 psychological level. But the truth is, Algorand is just getting started. Coin traders, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about Algorand, ALGO on the ticker, one of the favorites that broke that $1 mark finally. We knew it was going to happen pretty quick after it broke the previous resistance, so after that happened, big gain to the upside. Now we're looking at all these higher prices. Super excited to talk about Algorand today. It's definitely one of the favorites to talk about on the channel if you hadn't noticed already. Got a lot to go over, so it's going to be a great show today. Stick around for all of the news announcements, updates, and talking about this chart. So if you are ready to dive on into the world of Algorand today, you know what to do. Smash that free like button. Let's go, Algo. Hopping over to Twitter like we usually do. Looking at the follower count has been growing a lot. I think last video we were about 33,000. Something like that. So to see that kind of growth is definitely a very good sign in just a little over a month. Definitely been great to see a growing community here, and there's been a lot of hype and enthusiasm and engagement on a lot of these posts. I know personally my Twitter feed's definitely a lot of Algorand posts and a lot of bullish things, so great community overall, and yeah, it's definitely fun to be a part of. Now, right as we were making the last Algorand video, there was the announcement from the OCC about federally chartered banks and thrifts may participate in independent node verification networks and use stablecoins for payment activities. So specifically, this is extremely bullish for Algorand since it does host the two largest stablecoins being USDC and Tether. It's definitely going to be very bullish to know that a lot of these banks are going to be using an infrastructure like Algorand to do their transactions and their payments for stablecoins, given this new guidance. And on this topic, Algorand's actually been making a very big push to get a lot of banks interested and informed about stablecoins and the benefits. In this blog written a few days ago by Barry Finkelstein, Algorand does give you a background on what stablecoins are and why are they going to be useful in the future. Now, Barry Finkelstein is one of the newer additions to an already stellar team over at Algorand. He does come from a finance background, and he will work with existing and new financial institutions and other entities interested in or already building next-generation products and services on Algorand to advance their business. So his blog post actually has a lot of credibility talking about stablecoins, and we know that stablecoins are going to be a very big part of the future, especially with respect to decentralized finance, growing financial ecosystems, and actual utilization of cryptocurrencies. One of the highlights from the article is that Algorand has emerged as a go-to chain for the world's leading stablecoins. Now, there's several reasons for this, some of them being low transaction costs, near-instant settlement, transaction finality, robust core security, simplified user protocols, easy token issuance or swapping for developers, enterprises, and universal interoperability of all assets issued on Algorand. In addition, Algorand's ability to rapidly process high-volume transactions at a low cost makes it a go-to strategic partner for the multi-chain transfer frameworks that benefit stablecoins. The chain's stablecoin-friendly features and the debut of several leading stablecoins on the platform has established a foundation for the addition of further innovation stablecoin projects in the future. So especially with all the volatility of other cryptocurrencies, stablecoins are actually going to be an extremely important part of the cryptocurrency ecosystem, primarily with respect to actually utilizing it as that currency and that exchange of financial value. On top of stablecoins, we've seen the appearance of more and more central bank digital currencies or CBDCs. Currently, we do know that Algorand is actively engaged in at least 16 CBDC initiatives right now. Algorand is definitely trying to promote building CBDCs on their platform, which is obviously a very good sign. A lot of developer support, which is what we see a lot out of the team at Algorand. So there's plenty of support and articles from the team about issuing CBDCs. We also have more posts about key design principles for CBDCs. And I really think that the central bank digital currencies are going to see a lot of growth in the future, along with a lot of utilization. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, could represent the most exciting innovation seen in central banking in many decades. CBDCs embed the attempt at replacing cash with a more efficient, modern type of money. CBDC initiatives are rapidly multiplying, and the large majority of central banks around the world, from the People's Bank of China to the European Central Bank, have planned proofs of concept or launched experimentations to test the feasibility of a CBDC. So with all of this new growth, everything's going to need a new infrastructure for it, and Algorand has been chosen time and time again to be that infrastructure for that growth. Algorand can meet all of the requirements to deploy a successful CBDC. One of the latest partnerships with Hex Trust will provide institutional-grade custody service for its own ALGO token and others built on the Algorand ASA platform, which will include security tokens, stablecoins, and potentially central bank digital currencies. Now, according to Sean Lee, the Algorand Foundation's CEO, the partnership will accelerate the broad institutional adoption of digital currencies by providing companies looking to work with tokens and cryptocurrencies a regulated and secure yet highly flexible platform on which to conduct transformational instant digital transactions. Alessio Quaglini, the CEO of Hex Trust, commented on Algorand's ability to be interoperable and act as a private chain with the ability to interact with the public chain, and that it will be vitally important when targeting institutional tokenization projects. With an open, permissionless, pure proof-of-stake blockchain that provides transaction finality, Algorand offers the necessary security, scalability, and decentralization which we believe financial institutions will need when selecting their blockchain. Hex Trust identified Algorand as one of the leading blockchain protocols whose institutional vision and technology align with our mission. And this is really no surprise because time and time again, we always see these partnerships developed with Algorand because of how great it is. The benefits definitely don't stop there, and Algorand has been pushing its growth aggressively, notably in the decentralized finance or DeFi space. And personally, I actually think Algorand's development in the DeFi space is a lot more cutting edge and useful than what we've typically seen for a lot of the decentralized finance space so far. One of the big new announcements is that Algorand teams up with crypto custodian Curve for trusted DeFi. The firm aims to build technology that appeals to traditional institutions, payment providers, and governments. This arrangement will see Curve integrate Algorand within its asset-agnostic infrastructure, while Algorand will leverage Curve's custody solutions internally. The firms aim to enable institutions to build secure wallet functionality into applications on the Algorand network, backed by Curve's multi-party computation or MPC technology. Curve users will also be able to transact and store ALGO and ALGO-based ASA tokens. This definitely seems like the perfect partnership so far, and Curve's MPC is the quickest way to sign transactions securely without any bottlenecks, and that's what you need for the kind of scale Algorand delivers. The future for this partnership does seem bright, and Curve said there has been a demand from both the crypto world and traditional finance to support the ALGO token and tokenized assets over Algorand's network. Sean Ford, COO of Algorand, said Algorand and Curve have an aligned vision for advanced technology that is required to modernize financial systems of the future. We look forward to the opportunities for our users that this partnership will enable. So Algorand is definitely stepping up their DeFi game, and the Algorand Foundation has given Frontier a grant to boost the ALGO DeFi ecosystem. So Frontier is a chain-agnostic DeFi aggregation layer. Using Frontier, users can track and manage DeFi positions, stake assets, swap or exchange assets, and explore more DeFi applications in one single place. Frontier is also building Frontier Chain, which is a decentralized key management blockchain based on Cosmos SDK. And if all that doesn't seem bullish enough yet for you, Ditto announced Opulus, which is a decentralized finance solution for artists. The best part about it is that this DeFi solution for musicians is built on Algorand. Opulus will function as a loan pool which artists can borrow from and also contribute to. For those artists looking to borrow money, the loan is guaranteed against the artist's past streaming revenues with the copyrights they own held as collateral. Meanwhile, artists and other investors will also be able to pay into Opulus's music copyright pools, earning 10% per annum on any contributions they make. So up until this point, we actually haven't seen that much real-world integration for DeFi yet. So this is extremely great that we're seeing this type of thing where people can actually use and see the benefit not only from blockchain technology, but from decentralized finance as well. So this real-world usage for Opulus will use blockchain technology to connect investors with artists needing a loan, driving fresh investment into an industry that is set to double revenues over the next decade. Smart contracts will automate monthly premium and interest repayments and direct profits straight to investors. It will onboard staking from other parties to enable the widest possible backing. So this is obviously huge because we're capturing the music industry now for blockchain, but also it's very huge too because now we're getting that much more utilization and exposure for Algorand. Opulus is currently being developed by Ditto and Rand Labs, and as a matter of fact, Rand Labs actually developed something else that's extremely bullish for Algorand, and that's a node for Windows. Now, according to the global stats on StatsCounter, we can see that Windows occupies more than 75% of the market share for desktop operating systems. So this type of development is just extremely huge for Algorand because it is going to allow that many more operating systems to be able to be nodes for this Algorand network. The constant development for the chain and the network is definitely something I like. One of the big things that I really appreciate about Algorand is how they're always trying to make it constantly developer friendly, which definitely encourages a lot more utilization and exposure for the project. Even over on Twitter, they're always promoting their developer office hours, which allows you to have QA and kind of get that feedback and that support that you need to actually develop over on Algorand. So the team's just absolutely been crushing it, and they were this year nominated for a Devi Award, which is a very large award in the developer tech space. So they were actually awarded the 2021 winner for the best innovation in blockchain. And when you think about all the other teams in the blockchain space, to have Algorand be the 2021 winner for this Developer Devi Award, it's just extremely bullish and says a lot about not only the project but the team as well. And this team really does bring on just top-notch quality talent and the best of the best. One of the new additions was Chris Pikert, who is now the head of cryptography at Algorand. As you can probably guess, it's hard to have a cryptocurrency without cryptography. So Chris is the world leader in lattice-based and post-quantum cryptography. So Chris will be working on several projects with Algorand. First, he will be advancing several existing projects that improve Algorand's functionality and performance. This includes Algorand cochains, which support private instances running alongside the public Algorand mainnet, and compact certificates, which allow for quickly establishing confidence in the validity of a new block or the current state of the chain. So the team and all the growth for Algorand is really just non-stop, and now we have the Razer Network, which will provide reliable and secure real-world data to Algorand blockchain applications. So this is a great sign because now we actually have a decentralized oracle providing off-chain data to Algorand. So think kind of similar to how Chainlink works with Ethereum, now we have Razer providing that same thing to Algorand. So this type of thing is just absolutely essential for Algorand in order to be able to continue its growth into the DeFi space and beyond. The beneficial use cases don't stop there though, and Algorand partners with the decentralized media platform Xfinite to help it achieve mass adoption. In today's world, there are several social media platforms with great reach. However, their centralized nature gives the platform a monopoly over users' data and their behavior on the platform. Xfinite is built on top of Algorand and promises to change the way content creators interact with online media platforms and how their content is being distributed and consumed. So for a more relatable kind of explanation, the recent Twitter and YouTube crackdowns on several crypto content creators is a prime example of how centralized platforms misuse their power and can decide the fate of the user that can bring down years of hard work by a single decision. So this type of use case is not only unique but extremely beneficial as well. Xfinite has been searching for a trustable, scalable, and decentralized solution that caters to mainstream adoption. Algorand is a superior technology whose volume of transactions, activity, and cost makes it superior to other public blockchains. We are proud to partner and collaborate with founder Silvio Macaulay and the entire Algorand team, whose commitment and fist to the technology is inspirational. So I mean, hopefully this just speaks again that how time and time again we always see all of these new things want to develop and want to be a part of Algorand. And if this still doesn't seem bullish enough for you, Algorand enters strategic partnership with InstaMatch, which could facilitate a $100 billion use case. So according to reports, InstaMatch processes transactions worth hundreds of billions of dollars in transactions each quarter. Its recent partnership with Algorand will see a huge portion of these funds pass through the Algorand blockchain. Both firms look to disrupt global payment ecosystems as we know them, creating new financial applications and use cases that aren't restricted to current financial regulations. Notably, all of these proposed features will also be built on blockchain technology. The best part is that we actually get to tie all of this together, and the COO of Algorand, Sean Ford, pointed out that InstaMatch is looking to connect new DeFi projects to conventional financial D-apps. InstaMatch Global boasts of over 130 institutional clients located across 20 jurisdictions, so this is just absolutely going to be huge and a very big growth for Algorand. So it's just extremely indisputable how the growth and momentum for Algorand is just getting going here. So Algorand did already break this $1 mark, but truthfully, we're still just getting going. So I mean, despite the fact that we are seeing parabolic movements on this chart right now, and we're probably due for a little bit of a pullback and correction here before too long, just seeing prices at the $1 mark is still just absolutely crazy and completely insane if you ask me. So for all of this growth and this utilization and such an awesome and amazing and bright future up ahead, seeing prices even at the $1 mark just still seems absolutely crazy. I mean, ALGO is currently sitting at the number 48 spot right now based off of market cap, which is sitting just a little bit over 1.3 billion. But looking at a lot of these other projects, it's crazy how Algorand's just sitting below them. And I do know that we're going to see a lot more upside because truthfully, Algorand should be sitting a lot higher. And even if we do look at a much increased market cap, that's going to drive the price a lot higher. And, you know, thinking how great the future looks for Algorand based off the utilization, the development, the team, and I could just go on for days. We really should be seeing Algorand up here, you know, I would think, you know, even in the top 10, but, you know, for sure the top 20, putting the market cap at several billion, and that's still very low. So even if the prices did manage to run up to the $2 level, based off the market cap alone, the market cap for Algorand would still put it ranked lower than Tezos. And that's assuming that the price of Algorand doubles right now and Tezos remains the same. So hopefully it's been apparent that even at this $1 level, we're still getting going, and $1 Algorand is just an absolute steal in my opinion. Now, Algorand as a decentralized finance platform hasn't really gotten going as much yet as, for example, like Ethereum. So just imagine once we actually see a lot of that utilization come in for Algorand, and combine that too with the fact that we're going to start to see a lot of central bank digital currencies get launched as well. So we're still very much in the early and entry stages here for this project as a whole. Now, back in 2018, when we did see Ethereum reach their peak prices, the market cap got to over $132 billion. So since we're only just over 1 billion, we're at 1.35 billion, effectively we could be looking at a 100x just to see the market cap that Ethereum got to back in 2018. And keep in mind too, that's also when Ethereum wasn't into decentralized finance yet, so the potential's really big for an upside move here. Now, I don't think I realistically see Algorand going to $100 this bull cycle or this year, although I would love it. But it's definitely not impossible and out of the question with respect to looking at how much the market cap would grow. So in the long scheme of things, $100 algo is absolutely possible, and truthfully I think it will get there. And because I do ultimately believe that Algorand will hit that $100 mark, a bunch of us on the crypto Twitter for Algo did decide that once it actually does hit that price point, we will plan a big and massive Algo festival in Dubai. So that's something very nice and fun to look forward to, and everyone needs to stop by and come. So I do think in the shorter term, we'll probably get a little bit of a pullback, cool down, and test some of the previous resistances as support, which would definitely be a very good sign. We've already seen the peak volume come in, so I think a top is probably in for the shorter time anyway. I'm definitely not really worried about these shorter term fluctuations though, because ultimately Algo is definitely that longer term hold for me. So despite the fact that we have seen all these big gains and it is growing a lot, Algo is still very much that hidden gem, and it's definitely still that sleeping giant. With that, that is going to go ahead and close out the show for today, though. Hope you all enjoyed learning all about Algorand, what's been going on, what the future can hold, and how we're still just very much at the beginning and how it's only upside from here. If you did enjoy the show today, I would appreciate hitting those thumbs up, like, and subscribe buttons if you haven't done so already. It greatly helps us out and definitely lets me know that you love all the channel content so far. Please post all your questions, comments, concerns, disagreements, and all the other fun stuff below. Definitely love getting back to each and every one of you. Thanks again for all the continued love and support, everyone. Take care. I'll catch you back in the next video.